Is the politics in boxing, as they always call it, or whatever it is behind the scenes, is that sometimes as much as a fight, you know, out of the ring?
Look, you say the politics, don't you? I look on the social media, yeah, and it's all cringe, utter fucking shite that I look at. Yeah, I turn it off. The speeches out some of them's mouth, the way they go on, the way they conduct themselves, they're not welcome through my fucking door. Yeah, I don't roll like that. You know, listen, I'm not saying they're wrong. It's just the way I see it myself. I can't be bothered with all this arse licking up and down to get on a show. Yeah, you don't want me on the show? Fuck off, go somewhere else. You know, listen, it is what it is. You know, I can only speak how I see things. I think boxing has become a cringe sport for the dickheads that's in it. I'm interested in real fights, real fighting men, getting it down in here, getting it on in the ring. That's all we're interested in at the end of the day. We ain't interested in anything else. We ain't interested in sticking our chest out and wanting to be the best trainer in the world. We want to be this, we want to be that. You know, I want to be more famous than the fighter. Let's get all rid of all that shit what I see on social media 24/7, yeah? And let's get the fighter where he needs to be.
So, good afternoon, Sunday afternoon. I didn't catch up with the Chisora Fury third fight last night. Didn't pay the £26, but for those of you who did, I hope you enjoyed the fight and the undercard. Doesn't sound like great value for money, but we take our choice, and that's exactly what I did last night. So, I am going to put a video out later tonight, and I did promise I would do one about the Instagram padmen that seem to be the well, certainly dominant when you scan social media these days, more dominant than the fighters, you could argue. And I also want to do one about these peculiar people who head up fight camps and call themselves performance directors. But I just want to talk, just for the next 5 or 6 minutes or so, about something I read this morning. I found quite distasteful, quite worrying. But most importantly, for those of you who watched the last couple of videos I've done about Conor Benn and Eddie Hearn, I found it utterly predictable. I said in a couple of recent videos that I think Conor Benn would get a soft ban. And there might even be a chance that he will get no ban at all. Now, I saw a recent interview online that Eddie Hearn did. That's not always a good thing to name the source. So, Eddie was saying Conor Benn could be out as early as March. There was a few ifs and a few buts, but it didn't sound, the language didn't sound unconfident. It sounded quite assured, really. And I just thought, what do I think about that? My first instance, my first reaction is always what you'll often hear me say. Welcome to 21st century boxing, and I guess 21st century sport. So if Conor Benn, it really is innocent, and he ingested banned substances, which we all know, it's not so much the fact that these are female fertility drugs, it's that they are a known masking agent for bigger, more potent cocktails that may or may not have been in certain well-known middleweights, certain well-known welterweights systems or not. Although he was certainly going to be a middleweight in his last fight, wasn't he? So, how do I feel about that? I feel there's nothing as predictable as bad behaviour and bad news. There's been no apology, there's been no explanation, and I know a lot of things have happened offline, but it's always amazing the Conor Benns and the Eddie Hearns of this world. You can never get them off social media. They build empires, they build reputations on social media. Conor Krusher Benn, he must have built his on that, obviously also having the very, very famous father and second name. He certainly hasn't justified or earned the position that he was in big fights, earning absolute fortunes of money. Certainly not as far as I'm concerned as well. But this is 21st century living, 21st century sport, 21st century boxing, where it's not always about doing the right thing. It's not always about good behaviour or setting an example. It's the world we're in. I want to get as much as I can for as little as possible. So for anybody who's a big Conor Benn fan and turns around to me and says, no, hang on a minute, Jules, you've been in the sport. Conor Benn has an incredible work ethic. Conor Benn works hard. Absolute rubbish. Yeah. Professional fighters work hard. Fighters like Terry Flanagan and his coach Steve Mailer, who I knew, who would train on a morning, and then Terry would go on a building site as a labourer and do a 10-hour shift, and then he would train again on an evening, get back to his family, absolutely knackered. I'm not talking about some privileged snot who basically, we all know about the heated seats and the fantastic custom cars that he drives, and anybody listening might think I'm jealous. I am absolutely not jealous. I have a certain set of principles that I live by, and I'm very blessed to have 4 amazing kids. None of my kids are spoiled. None of my kids are snotty. None of my children do what you did and laugh at people's disabilities. We all saw that disgusting behaviour you and your little privileged snotty mates did and presented when you were laughing at Robin Deakin. Yes, Robin Deakin was winding you up. I know Robin. I've spoke to Robin several times online, but ultimately the way you were laughing at Robin Deakin's disability, you and your friends in your designer gear, mocking somebody's disability, mocking Robin Deakin's club feet. I thought that was disgraceful, actually. I thought it was disgraceful. And if I were your dad, I would be embarrassed by that behaviour. I know I've gone on a tangent slightly, but I don't want people to think this is a big issue I've got with Conor Benn. I have an issue with drugs cheats. That's what I have an issue with. Some people are overprivileged. They have a good start in life. Just back to the hard working thing, what I'm saying. Working a couple of times a week, a couple of times a day, and then going for a sauna, going for a massage, having all your food prepared for you, going back to a luxury house, driving luxury cars. That's not hard work, mate. That is not hard work. Hard work is what professional fighters do after they've done 10 hours on a building site or 10 hours fitting carpets. That's hard work. So I just wanted to make that distinction before people say anything like you're jealous. And I know I go off on these tangents. I never do the scripts. You know I don't do the scripts, you guys. I just like to empty my thoughts. I'm not suggesting I'm wrong. I'm just saying these are my views and this is the code that I live. We all make mistakes in life. And one of the things about making mistakes is owning those mistakes. You'll never hear that from Eddie Hearn. You'll never hear that from Conor Benn. So what we're going to hear, what's the next few weeks going to bring us, because I have gone on a huge tangent there. Conor Benn is likely to get a soft ban. According to Eddie Hearn, there might not be a ban coming at all. And I just wondered how you all felt about that. If it sounds like I'm singling Conor Benn out, I'm definitely not. Conor Benn won't even see this video, and neither will Eddie Hearn. I'm not singling the guys out. I'm singling out bad behaviour. I'm singling out drugs cheats. And a couple of people said to me when Porky shared this video on Porky's Corner, Russell, my friend, Russell Hartley, shared this video. A couple of people said, where were you talking about when so-and-so failed a drugs test or so-and-so failed a drugs test? Why Conor Benn? Well, first of all, I've not really done many videos on YouTube. I've only just started trying to raise my game a little bit. I used to have a Facebook account, which I got rid of about 2 years ago. So anybody who followed me on Facebook would know I always call drugs cheats out. I don't care if I come to face with a drugs cheat. So proven drugs cheats, like Dillian White. I'm not talking about his second finding, by the way, because that was apparently cleared up. That's fine. I'm talking about he was a proven drugs cheat. Tyson Fury was. People won't like that. Tyson Fury tested positive for a banned substance and he sat out a silent ban. Canelo Alvarez. I know there was lots of things about the tainted meat, but Canelo Alvarez was a proven drugs cheat. I stopped watching his fights. I went 2-3 years, I just couldn't watch his fights. I just refused to watch them. So that's my view on proven drugs cheats. And I actually messaged Lamont Peterson direct when he caused my fighter Gary Sykes to miss out on the biggest opportunity of his life against Adrian Broner, a world title shot in Las Vegas. I direct messaged Lamont Peterson, who was absolutely off the scale with performance-enhancing drugs for the second fight, which never happened with Amir Khan. I messaged him direct. I said, you're a cheat, you're a disgrace. You haven't just cost yourself, your reputation, you've actually cost other fighters a chance at the greatest prize in sport, a world title. So you're a drugs cheat, mate. I have no issue calling people drugs cheats who have failed drugs tests. Conor Benn, I won't call him a drugs cheat because that's going to be something that's very, very hard to prove. Clearly, Eddie Hearn knows a lot what we don't, but it all goes down to what I've said before. Contamination, 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 tainted evidence. That's all you're going to hear is tainted evidence. That's all I've said this for months. It's all you're going to hear now, or since October. That is it. It becomes tainted, they put doubt in your mind. He'll put out some kind of statement if he gets banned, or if he doesn't get banned, he'll put out some kind of a statement about he's going to be really, really careful now what he puts in his body. And we're all expected to forget the massive, rapid, steep improvement that we saw in your performances, Conor Benn. This crazy explosive power that you didn't demonstrate early on in your career, and then knocking out former world champions, chilling them, knocking them out. Having the dirty doctor who we all know, having him in camp and then says, no, I don't even know him. I think I might have met him once. Happy for him to tag me in a picture on Instagram and claim he's my doctor. Never removed that tag. But there you go. So it's all those things we're supposed to forget about. And of course the clomiphene, which, as we all know now, we've all educated ourselves or been educated on the clomiphene, and I thought Gabriel Montoya did a fantastic job of explaining that to the layman, such as myself and others, about what clomiphene really is. But it looks like you just ate too many eggs, doesn't it? It looks like there was contamination. Maybe there was contamination at the lab. Who knows? Who knows? But it's that saying, isn't it? So you can do what you want, you can deliver what you want, but the saying goes, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all the time. So we have a right, in spite of what's going to come out over the next few weeks, and in spite of you're going to say you need a big, loud apology from absolutely everybody because you are clean, you're not going to get that from me, and I don't think you're going to get from all of these really well-known fighters and managers and trainers and promoters who haven't had really great things to say about you. Because ultimately, and I think Liam Smith said something that really, it stuck with me for some time. He said the rumours was going around the gyms that Conor Benn was cheating. The rumours are going around the gyms. When you get the rumours going around the gyms, you generally know there's something there. Fighters don't call other fighters dirty, and coaches don't call fighters dirty lightly. That's not something that really people do. They just don't. And for Liam Smith to come out and say that and make those comments, knowing if it was untrue, we could get sued, we could all get sued. For him to say that, there were strong rumours going around the gyms, there were strong rumours in the sport. Personally, I have two things that I'll always spot really, really quickly. A guy who's shot, a guy who's looking faded. I really, not just, blowing my own trumpet there, but when people are shot to pieces, I generally call it quite early. And when people are juicing. And for whatever reason, I never had any suspicions that Conor Benn was doing something that I shouldn't have done. Probably because I wasn't that interested. Maybe that was it. Maybe to quote Conor Benn, how stupid will you have to be to do that? But just add to everything else that I've said that raises the red flags. I think the biggest red flag that we all had was the refusing to enroll or not enrolling. Not refusing, okay, I'll change my words there. Not enrolling within a given time limit to the WBC's VADA Clean Athletes Programme. It looked like you had to be dragged kicking and screaming to do that, but maybe it was a clerical error. Lots of coincidences. Coincidence with the doctor not enrolling into the scheme. 2 failed tests. That's 2. all of these things massively improve performances. I've covered this stuff. I'm boring myself talking about it. I prefer to jump onto the other videos, I promise you shortly, but I just wanted to get this out there because I was so disappointed to hear what's coming, what we all know is coming. And then somebody who really, we have strong foundations and strong reasons to believe they are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, then they'll be held up as this poster boy, somebody who was hung out as a bad guy, and somebody who's clean. I can prove I'm clean. I can prove contamination. Well, they can't prove he's clean. We all know they can't prove that because it was in his system. But I can prove contamination. I've got receipts to show you that the eggs that I had were not UK eggs. They were imported eggs, you know, because I'm massively conscious, he said 3 years ago online, everything that goes in my body is checked. Apart from the eggs, which were a staple of his new diet to make 157 and be very, very strong. So, yeah, a quick one on that, by the way. Just because I've got way too much time on my hands, I don't actually. But because these are sometimes the things I do late at night. I looked into the clomiphene and the eggs contamination, which was something that was not put out by Benn. Benn's not put anything out, but it was strongly rumoured that would be the defence. That clomiphene is used as a fertility treatment and drug in hens, basically. Chickens, hens. What I found out was that the vast majority of eggs in the UK are UK sourced. I think it was about 85% of eggs are UK, and then the remaining eggs are imports. Why am I saying that? Because UK clomiphene is banned, but imported eggs, it's not. Again, I've asked the question previously, why are so many fighters not testing positive for clomiphene who are ranked in the top 15, which is a lot of fighters? Because eggs are like a staple of people's diet. I think we all know why. I think we all know the truth. I have definitely gone on 16 minutes in, I'm still talking. I've gone off on so many different directions. This is my style, this is what I do. Some of you might send to sleep, but I just don't buy the bollocks. Don't buy the bollocks that's coming. Yeah, use your own opinions. A little bit like myself, last night I protested to the Fury Derek Chisora third fight. I said before, I didn't have an issue with the fight. I said that in one of my videos. People have rematches, people have easy fights, that's fine. But I had an issue with it being a massive stadium fight and charging the money and the pay-per-view that they did. So my protest was, I didn't watch the fight and I won't even bother watching highlights now. I'm not interested. Okay, it was very predictable. So in terms of Conor Benn, once we saw that Eddie Hearn was trying to put a fighter in with loaded gloves against somebody who was emaciated and severely dehydrated at 157 and wouldn't have been allowed to put on a natural fluidity and body weight. Once I saw that, I protested again and I unsubscribed to DAZN. I'm somebody who's got principles. Eddie, DAZN, you're not getting another penny out of me because of that disgraceful act. Okay, so you might not miss my £8 or my £9. Bob Harriman, Frank Warren and Tyson Fury might not have missed my £26 last night. I'm sure they won't. They're all very, very rich people who I've just mentioned. But those are my protests. You're all entitled to your protests. And that's where I'm at. 21st Century Boxing. Please like, share and subscribe. If you're still watching, if you haven't fallen asleep. I have gone on tangents, but just really sickened by the whole thing. But I'm just going to finish on something that a friend of mine, Max Jenkins, said to me recently. He says, Jules, with everything that's going on, with all these chances that people have and the work that you've put in, certainly the work that the fighters are putting around you, not getting the breaks, you must be really bitter. You must be so bitter about boxing right now. And I said to Max, not really, because do you know why? There's more to life than boxing. There's so much more to life than boxing. I've had a great weekend with my partner and my son. All my kids are coming back today to see the dad. I've got them for the week. That's what's important. Spend time with family. Boxing is just sport. It really doesn't impact me anymore. That's why I'm still smiling. Conor Benn, you go out there, you win some world titles, you earn tens and tens of millions of pounds, keep in good health. It really doesn't impact me that much. Nobody ever said life was fair. Nobody said the world was fair. We are where we are, genuinely. You just got to be responsible for yourself, and that's why I am. So, okay, a little bit of philosophy to end the video. Thank you, everybody, and I love the comments that you all put there. I don't mean the people who don't subscribe and who just leave shitty comments because they're a little bit tragic. I mean, the vast majority of you exchange ideas with each other, you ask for other videos. I love that. This is what this is about. It's not about monetizing. I'll never monetize this. Be too much hassle for me. It's just about interaction, discussing boxing, old or new. I'm sure this video will get more views than anything I do on the Fab 4 or the Thriller in Manila. That's also fine. Regardless, I appreciate you watching. So, signing off. Definitely don't watch football, but good luck to England tonight. Good luck to all the nations. Hope you all enjoy the game, and you take care and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you very much.
Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.
You like that one, didn't you? Right, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for liking and subscribing. It means a lot to me, because we're on this journey together, aren't we? So anybody got any ideas for the channel, fire them over to me, porkycorner@mail.com. Alright? Shout out to Innovation Alloys and South Yorkshire Packaging. Alright? Don't forget to subscribe, keep on trucking.